Hello viewers, welcome to all of you to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Varalakshmi, formerly with Andhra University, Visakhapatnam. Today I am going to deal with a paper on child rights and the module is titled as Child Marriages. Let us deal with the learning outcomes. This module on child marriages makes the students to know the status of Indian illiterate parents and girls who are inviting problems due to early marriages. The students at the outset get sensitized by looking at the status of girl child and the impact of child marriages on her and also on society. By the end of doing with this module, students will come to know of the ill effects of child marriages in a wider sense and also on legal intervention to prohibit child marriage. Thus, they can give a serious thought to the significant need to eliminate child marriages through various agencies and at various levels. Now we shall deal with the introduction. A child, according to the present conception, is one who has not completed his or her 18th year of age. Today there is a lot of hue and cry on the rights of the child and also on the violation of child rights. Violation can be in any form, exploiting him or her for any purpose or causing suffering and hardship and not providing health and education and also deprivation of leisure and above all not listening to child's interests and ambitions. Developmental thinking is firmly convinced that it is right to health right from prenatal stage and inviting attitudes for girl child and education of children are the major aspects for child's development. This thinking and practice enables the children to lead healthy and socially responsible life. When human rights advocates are trying to see progress of child for overall development, we find still children to get married before a girl completes her 18th year and the boy completes his 21st year against the present law, the law called the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006. What are the reasons for this kind of thinking and practice that dominate the progressive thinking and efforts for child development? Culture is a term we understand for the practice of such values and certain rights that are refined and thus have an eternal value. But tradition means that which is in practice. Why should at all we practice a bad tradition called child marriage for whatever reasons that existed once upon a time? Why do we still feel girl child a burden to family and society? What are the motives of the parents and what are the social factors that perpetuate a child marriage? Can we ever eliminate this and help child to grow fully and ably? Let us discuss on these issues in all the possible ways. Let us look into the history of child marriages. Historical evidence shows why child marriage largely affects the girl child more than the boy child. Young girl is preferred irrespective of the groom's age. A girl with virginity, beauty is preferred and thus many girl children were put to early marriages. This is not the case only with the common people but even in royal families. In the ancient and middle ages, we find some illustrations. For example, Princess of Emilia of Saxony in 1533 at the age of 16 married George the Pious, Margrave of Vanderek and Ansbach, who was then aged 48 years. Mary Antoinette was married at the age of 15 to Louis Auguste at Versailles in 1770. Girls get married even before puberty. Thus, we find child marriage was a norm in China, Rome, and India and many other countries. Apart from this virginity factor, religion also played a role in prescribing the marriageable age of girls and boys. Many religions like Hinduism, Islam, Christianity and Sikhism, for them marriageable age for girl child was just after reaching puberty. The religions appear to restrict child marriage, but still they seem to be encouraging early marriages. For that matter, Christianity determines the marriageable age of girl and boy. Christianity forbids the marriage of child before reaching puberty. That is, the marriageable age for girl was found to be 12 and 14 for the boys. And Hinduism prescribed marriageable age for 3 years after attaining the puberty. And Islam allowed marriageable age of the girl at the age of 10 years. In India, in course of time, the bride price, that is, price to be given before the marriage to the father of the child. It also became a practice to seek an young girl by a much older man. This lured the minds of the fathers, and they see that they encash the girl child's existence. The older men die sooner, and the widowhood of the young girl child becomes a burden again to the family. These young widows were exploited, humiliated by the other members of the family also. Thus, women's dignity was in question again. Here is an illustration through a scene from the movie called Water, which is directed by Deepa Mehta, based on a widowed child bride. This is cited by Reena Chandran in 2006. Sati Sahagamana. To save her dignity and to follow religion, they revolved another practice that again became a fatal to death for women in form of Sati Sahagamana. That is, women following the dead husband to the pyre. History tells us that this practice is in Vedic religions found in Indo-European nations. This is also found in other religions like Sikhism, Jainism and Islam. It is also found in nations like Greece, Cambodia, Philippines and other nations like Myanmar. Then look at the horrid way society participated in this practice called sati. To mention on some data in this context, it is held that a practice was evident in the 1st century in the kingly rules, and it was spread from 10th to 12th centuries in India. Further, during 1815 and in 1818, the number of women deaths due to practice of sati doubled from 378 to 839. Fortunately, sati practice was questioned, revolted and prohibited in India during colonial rule. William Carey and Raja Rammohun Rai in 1818 were the chief reformers to ban sati by British India. However, there are still instances of sati in India. But it is in 1987 an 18-year-old girl named Roop Kanwar committed self-immolation along with her 24-year-old dead husband on the pyre. Whether it was a voluntary act or forced act, data was not available. But knowing that this would happen, many people witnessed this and none of them stopped the incident to happen. At this juncture, only law and order then intervened. Thus, a law called Commission of Sati Prevention Act 1988 came into force. Let us look into the current status of child marriages in India. We could abolish practice of sati but not child marriages. Child marriages do exist in many states like Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan in India and in places like Kenya, Nigeria and Ethiopia in the world. Further, the impact of child marriage is more significant on the girls than the boys, as we said above. This we will discuss later after looking into the state of child marriages in world and also in India. A data on child marriages by UNICEF 2016 found that there are 20 countries with high percentage of child marriages. Of these, highest percentage recorded was 76% in Niger, and this was followed by 68% in Central Africa. Other countries include Chad, Bangladesh with 52%, Burkina Faso, South Sudan, Kenya, Mozambique with 48%, India with 47%, Malawi, Somalia, Nigeria, Eritrea, Madagascar, Nicaragua, Uganda and Sierra Leone with 39% and Cameroon with lowest at 38%. This is the data from Girls Not Brides, child marriages around the world. Now look at the child marriages in India. Look at the innocent faces of children who are put to this bad tradition. Further, child marriages rates are highest recorded in sub-Saharan Africa, with child marriages around 4 in 10 girls, which is followed by Latin America and Caribbean, Middle East and North Africa, which are with marriages taken before the age of child as 15 years. West and Central Africa are found with married adults and children who are aged between 15 to 19, and this percentage with 27. Middle East and North Africa are with 21%. This is based on UNICEF data 2017. 1 in 3 girls in developing worlds is found to be married before 18 years of age. Over 700 million women alive today were found to be married as children in the world, based on again UNICEF data. It is on the State of World Children 2016. India is found to be with 26,610,000. This is the absolute number based on the child marriages. When we look into the details of data in India based on Census 2011 on married back, Uttar Pradesh was found with the highest number of women reported to got married as girl children with 358. Children followed by West Bengal with 13,21,191. Women married as children. Other states found in the similar position are Bihar, Rajasthan, and Andhra Pradesh is with 5,21,878. The age group of these children was between 10 to 9 years. Now look at the reasons for child marriages. As we studied in the history on child marriage, girls were always guarded by parents and other members of the family in order to see them get married as virgins. But today, child marriages are mainly due to the following reasons: gender inequality, culture and tradition, poverty and insecurity, limited educational opportunities, lack of transport to schooling, and a low quality of education, inadequate infrastructure in the schools, and limited capacity among officials, and their lack of willingness, and also weak law enforcement. And other reasons are families and girls are not always aware of the programs given by the government. And this data is from various sources. In society, there is a large gap between the outlook towards boy and girl. Girl is not welcomed since before the birth itself, then thought and brought up as an economic burden, especially among socially and economically backward communities. Lack of education or illiteracy of parents makes less aware of the value of the educating of the girl child. Further, often girl is not allowed to go to school to take care of the sibling and to perform domestic work or to help mother. Even they are sent to school, rural areas are not well connected. In some of the schools, due to lack of quality education and other facilities, girl children are dropping out from the school. In certain times, when the girl child is asked the reasons for not going to school, these answers would surprise anybody. Some girl children said they are not at all interested in going to school, and some children find education as a difficult task. Some girls are found to be willingly accepting the marriage because of their poverty. All these show that not only this practice is due to parental illiteracy, but also due to the that society is not participating to impart the value of education to the children, especially in rural and urban slums. Now we shall look at the impact of child marriage on society. These harmful social practices force children into a vicious syndrome of early marriage and pregnancy, and is very often cited as a prime cause for high maternal and infant mortality and intergenerational cycle of malnutrition. Child marriage also imposes certain social and decision-making roles for children who are not physically, mentally or emotionally prepared to fulfill these responsibilities, says Mrs. Krishna Tirth. Child marriage, as we understand, affect the girl child in many ways. Effects on health, education and social status and identity and free will, and thus make her life miserable. Once the girl child is detached from the parental home, she not only loses her freedom as a child to play and move free, but also is put to stress due to physical and psychological demands. The child below 18 years will not be in a prepared state physically and psychologically. But her age is considered sexually active. There is every possibility for her early pregnancy. This further deteriorates her status. An young bride is far from parents, school and friends of her age group, and literally no one will be in the husband's home to share her fears and sorrows. Sometimes such conditions lead to suicidal tendencies too in the girls. Look at the UNICEF figures. Child marriage is a gross violation of child rights. Child marriage denies a girl her right to health, education and choice. Child marriage undermines progress towards development goals. In India, almost half of the girls between 20 and 24 years old marry before the legal age of 18 years. In some states such as Bihar, Rajasthan and Jharkhand, 6 in 10 girls marry as children. This is UNICEF. And now health impacts. Complications of pregnancy and childbirth are leading causes of death in young women aged between 15 to 19. This is based on WHO data, World Health Organization. Also many other sources. And also UNFPA 2013 and WHO 2014, cited by Jennifer Parsons and others. In their review study, they held each other 70,000 deaths of girls aged between 15 to 19 years occur due to pregnancy and childbirth. Stillbirths and newborn deaths are 50% higher among mothers under 20 than in women who get pregnancy in their 20s. Data provided by WHO. Pathetically, child marriage is a deadly cause of HIV infection and other health hazards like cervical cancer, obstetric fistula in girls, and this incidence is also due to the lack of sex education in some cases of exploitation by older husbands. Research evidence is found in this reference in countries like Kenya and Uganda. Economic impacts. ILO 2016 estimates, ILO found that women spend 4 hours and 20 minutes on unpaid care work, and this is domestic and child work, and men work 2 hours and 16 minutes per day in developing countries. Whereas in developing countries, women spend some 4 hours to 30 minutes a day, and men spend 1 hour to 20 minutes, 1 hour 20 minutes. This we can link to child marriage, where the child spends whole of her day and her lifetime without doing any productive work, unless and until she is protected, counseled and educated with some vocational training. Further, another data by World Bank and 2014, this is cited by again Jennifer Parsons and et al. And others 2015. They held that there are age gaps in productivity due to inequalities in intra-household resources allocation in terms of agricultural land or key inputs. These gaps are found more with the productivity gaps in agricultural in households of young brides. And Dawes 2013 study on intra-household bargaining and resources allocation in developing countries found that girls and women who were well educated and employed and later married found that they can earn more, perhaps their lifetime. And these women were also found with good decision making power and also with educated children. This is based on G20 background paper on women's economic empowerment. Interestingly, studies also found that in countries like Korea, Taiwan and Thailand, the rate of child marriage was declined along with the decrease in the poverty lines. This is a study by Noor 2009. The Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006 and its provisions for prohibition of child marriage. This legislation in fact is replaced enactment of the earlier act, namely Child Marriage Act 1929. This new law, the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006, has come into existence on 10th January 2007 to prohibit solemnization of child marriage. This act consists of 21 sections. Section 2 provides for the definitions necessary in the act. Accordingly, a male child is one who has not completed his 21 years and female child is one who has not completed her 18th year. And child marriage means a marriage to which either of the contracting parties is a child. A minor according to law is one in accordance with the Majority Act 1875. Child marriage is voidable according to the section 3. This says every child marriage is solemnized before or after the commencement of the act is voidable, and the act provides for the petitions or annulling child marriages. Further, section 3(4) of the act also insists on the return of the money, valuables, ornaments and other gifts received at the time of the marriage from either of the party to the other party. In case the applicant for petition is a minor, the parent or guardian, he has to pay for the maintenance of the female under section 4. This payment for maintenance can be in form of lump sum or monthly. Now, another provision is for the legitimacy of children. As per section 6, even though child marriage is nullified, children born out of this marriage are legitimate children. Now, let us see the penal measures against the child marriage. Section 15 provides for this. This treats child marriage as a cognizable and non-bailable offence. As per the Act, under section 9, male adult, if he is a major, he is punishable with a rigorous imprisonment for 2 years and a fine with 1 lakh rupees. And under section 10, the person who ever solemnizes the child marriage is punishable with 2 years imprisonment and fine with 1 lakh rupees. And under section 11, whoever promotes this child marriage, whether parent or a guardian or any other person, solemnization of child marriage is punishable with 2 years imprisonment and a fine of 1 lakh rupees. Now, provision for a child marriage probation officer. Section 16 provides for this appointment of a child marriage probation officer by the state government. And the duties of this officer as per the section 16 are to prevent solemnization of child marriage and to collect evidence for prosecution and also to perform such functions as creating awareness of the act and to sensitize the community regarding the child marriages. Assistance to child probation officer. Section 6(2) states that government may request a person with good repute as a social worker or a Gram Panchayat officer or a municipality officer or any person from a non-governmental organization to assist the child probation officer. This is all about the legal intervention. But as a responsible citizen, we all have to play a role in the prohibition of child marriages. Let us see some suggestions. Strict application of the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006 and wide publicity on this law are suggested for prevention of child marriage. And counseling and vocational training for girls as well as boys and sensitivity programs for the members of the society towards victims of child marriages. These are the essential steps. And education of the parents plays a vital role to arrest child marriages. Adult literacy programs and employment generations for poor sections also might help the issue to get resolved. Further implementation of the right of children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009, and to see that children are not out of school. This is another step. Further, Article 51A(k) insists on the parental responsibility to provide for educational opportunities. National Policy on Children 2013 also speaks of this awareness and implementation, especially in the rural and urban poor pockets, to help girl child to be educated and saved from early marriage. Carl Olson suggests 16 ways to help issue on child marriages. Educate girls, empower girls, educate parents, mobilize religious leaders and community leaders. Also support adolescent girls who are already married. Support legislations against child marriages. Advocate for women as community leaders. Provide relevant economic support. Get informed and take action. Talk about it. Men and boys should speak out. Pledging against child marriages. Also sponsoring a girl child. And support anti-child marriage charities and organizations. Support obstetric fistula campaigns and organizations. He also says support artists, photographers and journalists who raise awareness about child marriage. There is a national day called 24th January as a National Girl Child Day. Let us celebrate the day with awareness and concern for programs for health and sanitation and education. World Health Organization provides the data that between 2011 and 2020, the number of girls getting married might be above 140 million. And it also predicts that unless child marriage is addressed, UN Millennium Development Goals 4 and 5 on 3/4 reduction in maternal mortality and 2/3 reduction in child deaths by 2015 may not be attained. So, we are all stakeholders to address the issue on child marriages very seriously. Thank you.